The water of oblivion. Hermes's quick mind and supple form made him the favourite of the wood nymphs. One of the nymphs of Sicily bore him a son, but she was a heartless mother and abandoned her child in a grove of laurels, or Daphnes, as they are called in Greek. Some kind water nymphs found the baby among the laurels. They named him Daphnes and brought him with loving care to be a fine shepherd. Daphnes had a deep love of music and was taught to play the pipes by Pan, the god-footed god of the woods. Daphnes made up his own songs and composed his own melodies, which he sang and played on the panpipes. In his verses, he told of the life of the shepherd and the beauty of the forests and mountain pastures, and thus he became the first pastoral poet. Hermes was very fond of his son Daphnes, for he was a young man who brought credit to his father's name and became known the world over for the melodies he played and the poems which he set to music. This handsome and noble shepherd was loved by the nymph Lyce, and they became the happiest and best matched couple ever. For Lyce, too, had a lovely sweet voice, and when she sang and played on the pipes, it was as if some muse from Olympus were singing and Pan himself were playing. Yet although there was nothing to cast a shadow on their happiness, Lyce fell prey to a great fear. The fear that she would lose her beloved. "Daphnes, dearest," she said, "the happier I feel, the more afraid I become. There are times when I can see our happiness collapsing in ruins. I'm afraid of losing you, Daphnes, and I would rather die than have such a thing happen." "Dearest love," replied Daphnes, "only the gods know our fate. If I should die, pray for a brave heart and struggle to live on. But for me to forget you while I live, why, that's impossible. I swear before the gods that I will let you blind me with your own hands if I ever should leave you for the sake of another woman." Yet fate decreed that the very next day the impossible should happen. Daphnes had gone out hunting, and, tired by the chase, sat down upon a stone to rest. Then he took up his panpipes and began to play a melody. Nearby, hidden behind the thick foliage of the forest trees, was a splendid palace. A gentle breeze wafted the sweet notes of Daphne's pipes straight to the open windows of the princess who sat there listening, enchanted by the beauty of music. When the last notes of the pipes had died away, the princess ran down the steps and stood in the palace gateway, hoping to catch sight of the musician. Meanwhile, Daphnes had to guard his feet, and had gone through the forest in the midday heat, searching for water. Suddenly, without realizing it, he found himself before the palace gates, looking full in the face of the king's daughter, who had come forward that very moment. When she saw the handsome youth with his pipes, the princess fell in love with him on the spot and asked him to come up to the palace. "Just bring me a little water to quench my thirst," replied Daphnes, "and then I'll be on my way, fair princess, for I am out past my time, and my beloved awaits my return." The princess, however, was no ordinary woman. She was well versed in sorcery, and into his water she poured a few drops of juice from the magic herb of forgetfulness. She then came back to the gates and stretched out her arm with a smile to hand Daphnes the drink. At the moment, a sudden breeze blew up. The leaves rustled on the trees, and in their murmuring, it seemed as if a voice could be heard. "No, Daphnes, don't drink it. Don't you see her eyes? They are the eyes of a witch, Daphnes." But the young man's ears were filled with the sound of tinkling waters, and he stretched out both ends to the cup. "Daphnes, no, Daphnes," came the voice again. "Do not drink the water of oblivion, or you will forget us." "It must be the wind," said Daphnes to himself. "There's nobody here but the princess and me, and besides I'm hot and thirsty and I want a drink." And tossing back his parched throat, he emptied the cup in one draught. Thus Daphnes quenched his thirst, and thus he forgot the girl he loved, his vow to the gods and everything else. Taking him by the hand, the princess led him to the palace. Lysy awaited his return in vain. Hour after hour went by, and then, desperate with anxiety, she began to search for him high and low. Eventually, quite by chance, she found herself outside the gates of the palace. 2 guards stood here. "I am looking for Daphnes, the singer with the panpipes," sobbed Lysy. "Have you seen him pass this way, by any chance?" "Don't ask for Daphnes again. He is the princess' lover now, so forget him just as he has forgotten you," replied one of the guards, realizing who Lysy was. Like a mad creature, the nymph burst into the palace. Before anyone had time to stop her, she was face to face with Daphnes. Daphnes met her look. It was as if he had been struck by a thunderbolt which woke him from a dreadful nightmare. "Lys," he stammered. The vow, oh gods!" cried Lysy, and her eyes burned into the young man as if were flashing fire. As Daphne stared at her, his eyes opened wide in terror, and, as they did so, pains began to shoot through them. Soon the agony was unbearable, and instinctively he closed his eyes. When he opened them again, he could no longer see. Now Daphnes was blind, and he picked his uncertain way through the books, playing sad melodies on his pipes and singing of the sweetest happiness in the world, which had turned into the bitterest sorrow. Whilst wandering aimlessly, one day, groping his way in the pitch darkness of high noon, he fell from a rock and was killed. Hermes found his son as the breath was leaving his body and carried him off to Olympus. And there, at the foot of the rock, on the spot where he fell, a spring gushed forth. To this very day the people of Sicily point out the spring and say that in the plashing of its waters the pipes of Daphnes can be heard.